What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Thalia Confessionals. Welcome back to Thalia Confessionals. And today is another episode of what I like to call Thalia Thursday. This is where I get to share artistic pieces with all of you to hopefully inspire you on your own healing journeys. Today, we're going to be looking back at a piece that I created as an opener for a local pastors conference about 4 years back, almost to the day. And if you remember anything about 2020, we were walking through a global pandemic and so many churches closed their doors, whether that was due to financial reasons, whether that was due to wanting to protect their congregation from contracting the virus, whether that was just feeling the overwhelm and the discouragement and walking out this calling during such a difficult time for the entire world. Our local church really wanted to go the extra mile to have this conference anyways, to really encourage and inspire and create hope in all of the pastors who attended. Now, my friend was on the creative team at the time, and her and our director both really wanted me to be the one to kick off this conference on a high note. And I was walking through my own journey as well, not only dealing with living alone for the first time during the pandemic, not only navigating a breakup at the time, not only navigating an abusive situation that happened a few months prior to that. I was also just navigating my own relationship with God in the middle of all of that. So here I am being called, being asked, being invited to speak life into these pastors when I felt hopeless myself, when I was questioning if God was even listening or seeing or paying attention to me. But I think that's what's so cool about God, is that he meets us in that place and he challenges us in that place and he can still use us in that place. I even recorded myself after I left the taping of the spoken word piece, and I shared my testimony. And I won't share it in this episode in particular because it's a little long, but I will be sharing it as an additional extra behind the scenes kind of episode after this. So please, once you hear the entire poem, please be sure to check out that episode as well. As far as today, though, I did actually finish the book of Habakkuk, and it reminds me a lot about the poem that you're about to hear. You might have like the voice of David from Psalms and such, but so many people in the Bible have that similar tone of God, are you listening, including the prophet Habakkuk. He went as far as to say, God, how long until you do something? Like, do you see all of this injustice that's going on? Do you see these corrupt leaders? Like, if you do, why are you tolerating it? Why are you not stepping up to the plate and doing something about it? And God, in all of his mercy and all of his grace, speaks to his creation, speaks to his prophet Habakkuk, and says, actually, I do, and this is what I'm going to do about it. And it did not look anything like what Habakkuk thought or expected or maybe even wanted, but God tells him again, like, this is what I am going to do about it. I absolutely see what's going on and I have plans to intervene. Habakkuk, as he's waiting for this intervention, as he's waiting for this prayer to come to fruition, he's afraid. He's like thinking about everything that could happen. And he even writes it in the Bible that he is physically trembling. His legs are shaking. His bones feel like they're decaying. His heart is just palpitating. But he decides, even amidst the fear during the wait, that he's going to wait patiently for God. He's going to be expectant for God to show up just like he said he would. And he's even going to go as far as to rejoice anyways amidst the situation. So I don't know what you're walking through. I know that even today I am walking through my own situation, but hearing this poem again made me so proud of myself, but also very thankful for what God has done in my life, because if he's done it once, he will do it again. And that's actually what Habakkuk says as well. I know your fame. I've heard about you, God. I know the things that you've done. Do it again. Do it again. I hope it inspires you and reminds you that God sees you and he hears you. He's listening and he's working on your behalf, even if it's not in the timeline that we thought or want or dreamt of. But he is faithful to his promises and he is faithful to save his people, just like he declared that he would in the book of Habakkuk. There's really not a trigger warning for this particular poem. It is really essentially faith-based. It's actually the first faith-based poem I have ever written. So thank you to everybody that helped me put this together. But I will just say with any piece, enter it with gentleness for your soul. There are some topics or imagery in there that reflect everything that was going on during 2020. So just be kind to yourself. And as always, thank you so much for listening.
Lord, send revival. What does that even mean? Restoration, renewal, reawakening in a season where I feel like my faith has been asleep. I closed my eyes with dreams of New Year's resolutions and woke up to a deadly virus with no solution. A shock to the system, a blow to the church, your church sending thousands away from your altar. Fear has closed every door. Rejection has turned every lock. Isolation has sent your people into the wilderness, wondering where on earth you could possibly be. Lord, send revival? Are you even there? Are you even listening? Do you hear the cries of our children locked up in cages? Do you hear the call of our families starving and losing their homes? Do you see our brothers and sisters bleeding out in the streets? Do you see our mothers and fathers gasping for air in the hospitals? How many more funerals must we attend before you weep with us? How many more tears must we cry before you comfort us? How many more burdens must we lay down at your feet before anxiety leaves our chests? How many more worries must we bring to you before the weight of depression is lifted and we rest? How long, O Lord, must we wait before the thorn of persecution is removed from our sides? How much longer shall we grieve? O Lord, I am struggling to stay alive. Lord, send revival. I cannot see you, but I know that you are there. Faith at its finest, no wonder you're refining me, removing everything I ever thought I belonged to. The money, the fame, the family name, the addictions, the subscriptions, the titles that came, the relationships that hurt me, the routine that burnt me, the reliance that I had on me, but only you have the authority to close the mouths of the lions. Only you have the strength to take down every giant. Only you have the might to shake every prison wall. Only you have the power to resurrect when my faith is small. Lord, send revival. God of Abraham, revive my vision. God of Joseph, revive my dreams. God of Jacob, revive my purpose. You catch every tear and you hear every scream. God of Esther, revive my courage. God of Mary, revive my faith. God of Ruth, revive my trust. Something beautiful is coming to this desolate place. I can hear you calling. You are coming on a cloud. Praise is my weapon, so I will keep crying out, Lord, send revival.
Got it! Come on! Come on!